Hey, what's up guys, my name's Ben. Welcome to the Swanky Cat Productions channel, where I put one snowmobile video out a week in the wintertime. We're getting a little bit close to the end of the season here, so it's finally time, I suppose, to put some ice scratchers on the F1100 back here. Now the allure of these is that they're not going to wear out like the cable scratchers do. The little foot on the end here is what makes them reversible, so basically that can kind of flip-flop back and forth, and when you go in reverse, it's not going to jab itself into the snow. It should just kind of skip along the top. They do say in the packaging that this only works on hard packed room trails, so obviously if you get off into some deep powder, this is still probably gonna want to jab down into the snow. We'll get these on and we'll go out and do some testing and see if I can't break them off. So these should be relatively simple to install. Essentially we're gonna need a 1/4 inch hole here, and then we're gonna need I think they call it like a 9/32, but we're just gonna go with a 5/16 hole for the bolt that's going to come through on the back side of this and hold that in place. I'm going to have to mount this back here somewhere. I think somewhere there's a hole in here. So I don't know if these are specifically made for a certain sled and they just kind of say that they're universal, but it doesn't seem like they had this rail designed in mind here, although I guess it actually looks like this side's a little bit closer, so maybe my other side was bent a little bit more or less, I don't know. The other one didn't really seem like it sat very well above this rail here, but this does seem like I should be able to get my bolt in fairly easy, and I guess that should work, so all that complaining for nothing. The other one though, I did have to kind of convince to fit in there, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal, I don't think. I just kind of smacked this with a hammer a few times and then that kind of gets it in the right spot. So up front here again, this is just really not a great match for this sled. So I've got a hole up here that I could use, and I've got a hole back there that I could use, but I definitely can't use them both as they are. So as much as this is probably not gonna make a lot of you guys happy, I'm going to just kind of ream this one out a bit, just to kind of close the gap between those a little bit. So if you have a weak stomach for doing mechanical things the wrong way, then close your eyes. Once you think you've got that drilled out enough that it's worth trying, you can throw your bolt through the back hole here. Got that loaded with blue Loctite already. And make sure you got your washer on the back side here. Push that through and line it all up. Looks like that will be just barely enough. Not the cleanest install, but I think it should work. You've got plenty of tension on here. And what you're looking for when you get this piece installed is that your track's not going to be rubbing on your foot here, no matter where it's positioned. And then again, I'm actually not 100% sure this is going to clear, but you want to make sure that your bar here, that's part of your spring assembly in the back, isn't going to come down and smash into this, or possibly knock it down any further, because then again you'd have it rubbing on your track. I'm supposed to put these same scratchers on the ZR6000 back here, but since this is a little bit newer, we've got these wheels that are going to make things a little difficult. It also doesn't look like we have, I guess maybe we do have holes in the right spots. Hopefully I can use that one, I guess. And I think that scratcher is going to have to go up here somewhere. So I guess maybe I'll figure that out. I think we'll have to pull one of those wheels off to get it installed. And then we'll take these things out for a ride and see how they work. Alright, so this should give us, I think, a pretty good side view here. Oh, what a beautiful day. So I have absolutely impeccable timing. The last time that I was out with this thing, I was doing nothing but watching the temperature gauge and looking for any little bit of powder that I could find. It's a little chilly. There we go. And now today we've got, seems like more than an inch of fresh powder on top of the dirty hard pack mess. Barely enough, I guess, to kind of keep it at somewhat of a reasonable operating temperature. So we're at 140 right now. The temp light starts flashing at 150.
And then the manual says when it's just staying on red, then you need to shut it off. And it doesn't look like we're going to get to much of... Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess this trail doesn't look so great, does it? I think this is actually where my F1100 was overheating a couple weeks ago, and I suppose this woods just kind of keeps the snow up in the trees and then you don't get much on the ground. Yeah, so we're at 145 now, actually, so look at that. We'll work out. So we'll put these down. Hopefully not get ran over in the process. Oops, there's a camera there. You guys all right? Whoops. Yeah, see, there is some snow here. There's not much on the trails. All right. Let's see how fast that cools it down. Up to 147 sitting still. Woo! That's picking up some snow. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Down to 140 already. 134. Yeah, this is probably all pretty wind blown. Oh yeah, it's like riding on a lake now. Is there any ice to be scratched even? Oh yeah. She's flying. 113. I'm gonna have to pick them back up. I guess, is there a temperature that... Whoa. I don't want to end up in there. Is there a temperature that would be too cold? Like 90 degrees seems like it would be a little chilly. Down to 109. 107. Oh man, I should have had these all year. Hey birds. It's gonna be so nice not having to watch that gauge like a hawk. Oh wow, look at that. You can't beat that. I took this sled out to test because this is the one that really seems like it needs them the worst. But now I'm a little afraid to try to back up with these. I don't mind busting mine off. I don't want to bust these off though. So as you can see, that little foot is flip forward when you're moving forward, and then when you back up they should flip over and have a little bit of a kind of ramp to keep them up on top of the snow. It seems like it works. I would be careful in even snow as deep as I was in right there. I just can't get over that. So cool. And definitely if you're going to be playing around in the powder or anything, or really even off the trail at all, you should probably have them up. Ooh, that snow is flying now. I've noticed that I kind of get some snow up in front of me here even, so I guess that's how you know it's working. And obviously they're meant for kind of lower snow conditions than this, but seems like they're definitely doing their job still today. And I guess I'll be interested to see if you do kind of goof around a little bit like I like to in the ditches and stuff on the way to the trail. I'm kind of nervous that they might get knocked off if they're up, and if they're down I think they definitely could get bent up pretty quick. And the nice thing about these compared to cables is that they're not gonna wear out like a cable would, but they, I think, could definitely get bent up, and I think that's something you kind of have to keep an eye on. Obviously you just take them off and bend them back into place, but definitely something to be looking out for every once in a while and checking on. Ooh, that's icy. Hello. Yeah, see, like, I don't know what happens when we do that. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting nice and cool, 98 degrees. I think they should almost come up, or at least maybe one of them should. You know, obviously this isn't a great test for, you know, how much are they going to cool the sled off when it's, you know, just glare ice conditions. But obviously you can see that they definitely do work. How about if we pick one up and see what that does? Preferably not the one that you guys can see through the camera. Yeah, the one thing, I don't even know if I'll be able to show you this. I don't hang myself with my cord here. They do kind of go on a little hard on this sled. They're kind of jammed in there, and I think that's just because I used the hole that was already there rather than drilling a new one. haven't had this thing going too fast. I don't imagine that you'd have too much of a problem. I'm sure you're probably better off having them going 90 miles an hour than you are not having them. Definitely keep those slides cool. I did notice that when I was putting these on my sled, that my slides look a little melty, and I think that's because, like I said, when I'm out on this sled, I'm just always looking for powder, where that one, I mean, if it runs, 150 degrees, a 4-stroke doesn't really care, so they don't throw the temp light on until probably almost closer to like 190, where this sled, I mean, that's probably not catastrophic, but definitely not good. And you got to keep in mind, that's not your motor temp, that's your water temp. Here we go. This looks like scratcher territory. This looks like slide off the trail territory here. Yeah, still down to 98, even with just one. Oh man, though, it will be so nice to have these. I kind of put off putting them on just because I didn't want to have to drill any holes or remove any wheels, and I guess I haven't mentioned that yet, but you do actually have to pull that second set of wheels off to get these to work. You might be able to bend these around that wheel, and the issue is when the scratcher is up on that hanger, it just kind of bends right across that wheel and would essentially stop it from moving. So definitely be careful if you've got outer wheels on your sled that you're not doing that. But all in all, the install really went pretty well. It's kind of nice that I was able to use some holes anyways, even if I had to egg out or drill some new ones. But it seemed like definitely a doable thing with just a basic set of tools. And I'm, like I said, pretty happy with them so far in the first couple miles. So definitely would suggest getting a set of these. Honestly, I have no idea why I put it off for so long on my first sled or my second sled. And my buddy Jim actually bought me these for both the sleds, and I don't know that I would have bought myself any, honestly, if it wasn't for him. So big thanks to you for setting me straight here and getting a set. Now I think I will be putting a set of these on every single sled that I own. And honestly, as much as I do like these, and as much as I think I would recommend them, it does really seem like they throw a lot of snow compared to what a just cable scratcher would, and I think they'll last a lot longer unless you bend them up in reverse somehow. I would still kind of like to try the cable ones, and the reason that I say that is because they're just so much easier of an install. You just need one hole, which you probably already have. You don't probably need to drill any holes at all. You can kind of put them anywhere, and you don't have to worry about whether or not any of your wheels or your other suspension components are going to be crunching down on them if you bottom the sled out. And as best I could tell, it didn't seem like either of these sleds were going to have that problem. Definitely something that I would recommend. I will put a link for these down in the description. Make sure you're cooling your sled down. Take care. Stay safe. Stay swanky. Get out. Enjoy this beautiful world and these beautiful trails while you still can. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. Click the bell after you subscribe. That way it'll let you know anytime I put a new video out. And if you want to check out some more right now, you're there at the top.